Hey, welcome to another episode of the Movie Bros podcast. I'm Biggy.
Mick.
So, recently I checked out a couple of William Friedkin movies.
Ooh, okay.
So,
I saw that you watched Sorcerer finally.
yes, so if you guys don't know, we have a little group chat. Sometimes every now and then I'll send a picture of something I'm watching.
Yeah, we all kind of like update each other on what we're watching every week, you know.
Yep. Yeah, and I did a little double feature with Friedkin films. First, I saw To Live and Die in L.A.
Great fucking movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Took some turns I did not expect it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was wild seeing a young Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. And,
William Peterson.
yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy too because if you think like back then, like William Peterson has kind of got that similar kind of career path like a Michael Biehn or these or Tom Berenger where they looked like they were going to be on top of the fucking world because like in the 70s and the 80s and even part of the 90s, they were working with these big directors, they had starring roles,
Hmm.
and you would have thought William Peterson would have blown up after To Live and Die in LA, you know.
Yeah, true. Um, the film was very well directed. Like, that chase scene, that was so good.
Oh yeah.
Friedkin can direct a car chase, dude. Like, remember in the French Connection, like that where he's chasing the
Yep.
train. That for the early '70s, bro. That was so well shot.
He had another really good chase scene in Jade too, which was really impressive. Yeah, he's always been good with chase scenes in his films.
Yeah. He always like puts the camera, well, whenever they're doing a chase scene on foot, he always puts the camera like to the side of them as they're running.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's something I noticed in
Oh
his
yeah.
whenever he does it. The ending was pretty wild. I found out apparently they like shot an alternate ending where he lived.
Oh, Chance.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever saw that.
I don't think I saw the alternate ending. Because I remember the first time I saw it was like 2008, 2009, and my drummer's friend that lived next door to him, his name was Gino, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, you've got to see To Live and Die in L.A. because he'd overheard me talking about William Friedkin, and he was like, dude, that's like, one of his classic films, like you got to see it. And he was like, and you will not see the end coming. And I was like, I normally did not care about spoilers, but for that one, I'm like, don't tell me anything. I just want to go in surprised. And I remember how pissed I was, like how it ended, but it was still a great movie,
I wasn't really pissed when he died. I was just like, oh wow, I didn't
Yeah.
expect that because I mean he was kind of asking for it. Like that character liked to live life on edge. Remember
Oh,
towards
yeah.
the beginning when he jumped off the bridge?
Yeah, and even his partner that ended up getting killed was trying to tell him like, "Hey, you need to chill out."
His partner
Not in
didn't
those
die.
exact words.
No, he didn't.
No, not his new partner.
The guy
not
at the start.
Vukovic. Yeah,
guy
in
at
the
the
beginning.
start,
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because like his old partner was trying to warn him about these things, and he was right.
Yeah.
Like
So, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that alternate ending, I think they freaking was like, nah. I think the studio wanted him to put that ending where he lived, because I think that was very weird for. They thought that the movie wouldn't like do well if they killed off the main character like that at the end.
yeah.
That's why like they forced him to shoot that alternate ending, but then he was like, nah, fuck that. I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
with my original ending.
Yeah, it was
Like it would have ended with them like kind of getting put in somewhere in the north or something in this cabin for the Secret Service.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I see. I heard about it, but I've never actually seen the ending
Yeah, but like
or the alternate ending, I should say.
the way the movie does play out is definitely superior.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
And the soundtrack was pretty good too. Like the Wang Chung did the soundtrack.
Yeah.
You know that band, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they had dance hall days in the movie. That's the only really song I know by Wang Chung.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like,
it's funny. I only know it because of GTA Vice City.
Oh yeah,
It's funny. I was watching the movie and I was thinking, is this what an episode of Miami Vice is like?
yeah. In some, in some ways, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, because you think about it, that time period, because Miami Vice was becoming such an influential TV series, you started seeing even movies take influence from Miami Vice
Yeah,
during that era. So it's like I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
You know,
Feels very yeah. The movie also felt like my not man freaking Michael Mann. Michael Mann could have directed it too.
it does because and it's funny because I thought the same thing when I first saw it. I was like, this easily could have been directed by Michael Mann, and you wouldn't have known the
Yeah,
difference. Like, I mean, at least like even like aesthetically, it looked very similar to a Michael Mann film.
yeah,
And it is kind of surprising because I remember, you know, when I'd already knew before going into seeing it, like it's a William Friedkin film, but I was like, this is the only film that I've seen of William Friedkin that, with the exception of the chase scene, that didn't feel like a William Friedkin film.
yeah.
You know?
Fair enough. Um, I think it's funny. I think Wang Chung also did the score to Thief, didn't they? Or was
No,
that
that was
Tangerine
Tangerine
Dream?
Dream.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
why. Perfect transition there because Tangerine Dream also did the other Friedkin movie I saw, Sorcerer.
Oh yeah, Sorcerer is great.
Yeah, man, that's another very well directed film. Like the suspense scenes, like that bridge scene
Yeah.
when it's swaying side to side, man, would never get. Imagine how dangerous it would have been to film that.
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. That like it all. I still know that it still gets talked about as like one of the most suspenseful scenes like ever for during that period of time. Like
Yeah.
probably, I would even say it still stands the test of time because like that is terrifying. That
Yep.
big ass truck, that big ass rig going across that bridge, and you're like, dude,
How are they gonna make it
y-
like?
yeah, with all that dynamite in it on top of it, like
Yep.
that was such an insane movie, and I loved Roy Scheider in that.
Yeah. And I love the bit where they blow up that tree that's in their way.
Yeah,
That shit was pretty well done too.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Also, man, it sucked whenever one of the trucks blew up and we lost those two characters.
Yeah,
I said out loud, man, that's fucking tragic when that happened, dude.
yeah.
I know, man. It was such a
Well,
great
yeah,
film.
because you saw them go through all this hell for nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
yeah, for at least those two, yeah, for nothing.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And it did have that classic kind of William Friedkin ending where it was very open ended. Where
Yeah, with the
you're like,
mob
what do you think
guys.
is going to happen? Do you think he's going to die, or they're going to let him
Well,
live?
you do hear a gunshot.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, dude, you're right. Roy, that was definitely one of Scheider's best roles, at least that I've seen. Like,
Yeah,
that dude was on a roll in the '70s.
he was. He
From
was.
wait, first he did French Connection, then
Yep.
Jaws,
Yep.
and then Sorcerer.
Yeah, and like he did a few I think a few big ones in the 80s. But Roy Scheider kind of just started to kind of fall off, like I think with the exception of Sequest, because I know that came out in the 90s with Jonathan Brandis, but
Yeah,
he kind of fell off. And I mean, it was cool that he made a cameo appearance in the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. He played Frank Castle's dad,
yeah.
which was cool.
He was also in the Naked Lunch.
That's right. Yeah. Cronenberg. Yeah.
Yep.
Man, how did I forget that? Like,
He's not in it too much.
no, he's not. I think he doesn't show up until towards the end of the movie anyway.
No, he shows up at the beginning, and then he doesn't show up till the end.
Okay, yeah. It's been a while since I've watched Naked Lunch.
That is a mindfuck of a movie, man.
It's Cronenberg for you.
Yeah, good cast too, though. Ian Holm was in it.
Yep.
Yeah, Julian Sands.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Julian Sands was in it
Yeah,
too.
of course, Peter Weller
Yeah. Yeah.
and Howard Shore did the score also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Because
very different from his usual stuff. It was very like jazz.
yeah, and it was also different. Like because like I've noticed with Cronenberg, some movies he does has kind of like a small cast, and then some movies he does has an ensemble cast. Like he always kind of goes back and forth. Like you look
Yeah,
at like A History of Violence. Like look how stacked that cast
I
was.
still haven't seen that. I've only
Oh,
seen the three Cronenberg films. Fly,
Videodrome,
Videodrome, and
yeah.
Naked Lunch.
Oh, dude, Videodrome's great too.
Yeah, and with Cronenberg, it seems like he similar to Lynch. If he feels like he's a guy that I have to like be in the mood to watch. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I 100%. I love both of them, but I have to be in the mood. I've got my like Mulholland Drive sitting on my Fandango account, and
Hmm.
like I'm just trying to decide, do I really want to watch this
Yeah,
tonight? Like especially when you're already like a fucking bag of nerves as it is, and like David Lynch and David Cronenberg are really good on feeding on that.
yeah.
So it's like,
With Lynch, you feel like you ran a marathon after seeing one of his movies.
yes, yes, absolutely. Cronenberg to a degree too. Like,
Yeah, like he's one of those guys you need to like watch a video essay after seeing the movie.
yeah, yeah. I don't think you're gonna get very far with David Lynch though, because like David Lynch, he never like I noticed like with him, he never is very clear about like what exactly is going on. Like he gives you the gist of some things, but some of the more unexplainable things that happen to his movies, he's kind of like, well, you tell me what you think happens. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like this is such a mind fuck. How am I supposed to figure it out?
Yeah, like Eraserhead. It's like, what was he trying to accomplish with Eraserhead?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. Sometimes there's artists that do things just for art's sake,
Yeah.
and they don't always they're not always like tangible.
Hmm.
And sometimes I really like that, and other times I'm like, I don't even I don't even know what I'm watching.
Yeah,
Like
I think that's why Blue Velvet is my favorite. One of his is my favorite Lynch film because it's a little more straightforward.
it,
It's a
it
mystery
I tell people
essentially.
all the time that Blue Velvet is probably like one of his most coherent movies
Yeah,
in
it's like a
comparison.
gateway
Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
yeah,
it still has some his weirdisms in the movie, but
yeah.
like
I mean, which I like that. It's just like I mean, I don't think I think like my least favorite Lynch film was Eraserhead. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I don't think it's like a bad movie, but it's just like I already got like this is a lot of mind fuck,
yeah,
like, and I already got to deal with it with all of his other movies, and I can handle it because there's at least some level of coherence going on depending on what it is. But
hmm,
that one, and it kind of and it's weird because I think like towards the end of his career, he kind of started to revert back to that, you know, the kind of artistic, um, incoherent state, because like even though you have a pretty good idea of what's going on with Mulholland Drive, but there's so many other things that are going on where you're like,
yeah.
explain that. What is that?
I think the last like 20 minutes of that movie kind of brings it down a little bit. Like whenever I forgot exactly what happens in the movie, but it's like what it had Naomi Watts or something. What she was having a affair with the main chick, the other
Yeah,
chick, or
yeah,
something like
Laura
that.
Haring. Yeah,
Yeah, and what she was married to Justin Thoreau.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and I probably have to rewatch it. I don't remember too much, but it was like it felt like the movie was going in one direction, and then all of a sudden it brought in like twists.
Yeah, well,
that
it was also, and it also kind of went into like this weird supernatural kind of horror element there, but it was like, I mean, you get the gist of Mulholland Drive. Like it's kind of like, because a lot of people are like, it's like the Me Too movie before Me Too
yeah,
in a lot of ways, and but like David Lynch was basically giving commentary on like what it's like being an actress in Hollywood,
yeah,
and how it doesn't matter how successful you are, you always have to, like, I guess essentially sign over your soul one way or another,
yeah.
and you're left with nothing, even if, like, because like I noticed like there's elements of that in The Substance too.
hmm So yeah, even like that part at the beginning with the jump scare bit, it was like, what was the point of that scene?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Just
still,
to
I still,
scare the shit out of the whoever's watching.
Oh, you're talking about in the alleyway?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember it was the first night that I had ever smoked hydro, and I smoked it through a gas mask,
oh
and they wanted to watch that, and at first I was all game for it,
yeah,
and there was like a build. You remember there was like a build up to that
oh yeah,
scene
I know.
where they're sitting in the diner, and he's trying to explain to him like, I'm gonna
The
die
dream,
today.
it was like a
Yeah,
dream he had.
yeah, and then I was like, this is fucking wigging me out, man. And then when it
Yeah,
got to that scene, I spent like 20 minutes in the bathroom. I didn't want to come out until, like, I was like, that's way too much.
yeah,
Whoa. I can't watch this right now in this state, like, and I mean, and I remember like all my friends were like, "Are you all right? Like, you got a stomach problem?" Like, yeah, yeah, I'm good. I lied to them. Like, I was just standing in the bathroom the entire time. Like,
yeah,
I didn't want to come out because I was like, dude, this movie, I'm never gonna watch a David Lynch movie stoned again.
yeah. Especially David Lynch. Um, I was meaning to talk to you about something. When I was watching Sorcerer, the movie surprisingly rated PG.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and it does not feel like a PG
Yeah,
movie
like
at
they really
all.
pushed the borders on that. I think they dropped the F bomb only like once in the movie, but
Yeah,
like some of the shit is very violent in the movie.
yeah,
Like when
absolutely.
he crashes
Yeah.
the car at the beginning.
Oh yeah, with the heist, I think it was, or the bank
Yeah,
robbery.
yeah.
Yeah,
Whenever they get like robbed by the guy, the last truck gets robbed, and
yeah,
they kill those few guys. That was pretty brutal too.
yeah, yeah. Like, it's kind of amazing. Like, it does, like, when I watch movies like that, it just makes me want to delve into 70s cinema even more, because I've found a lot of movies from the 70s that I really enjoy.
Yeah,
Like, I
Uh,
still got to watch Chinatown.
pretty good.
Yeah.
A little bit convoluted, at least in my opinion. The first time I saw it, I didn't fully understand everything. Like, but still a pretty good film.
Yeah.
Another movie that pushed the PG border really hard was Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Damn,
the
I
one with
forgot. Yeah, I
Jeff
forgot that was
Goldblum.
PG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Like there was a scene where they just show the one lady's tits
Yeah.
for a while. Like
Yeah.
they, it's funny. It wouldn't be the last time we've seen that actress's tits.
Yeah, yeah, that's true
We
too.
saw it again. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we saw it again in fucking the Dead Zone.
Yeah.
But it was like I think it depends on the context. Like if it's not really like sexual or nothing like that, you can get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, they applied that same rule to like PG-13. If there's like tits or somebody naked in it, as long as it's not like strictly sexual or something,
Yeah.
like they can get away with that rating.
Yep.
Like,
Essentially.
yeah.
You remember that bit in the movie where I guess one of the pod people like he clones like they cloned this homeless man who was
Yeah.
like sitting next to his dog.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
whenever it's later on we see it, the aftermath of that,
Yeah.
and the dog is running around with the homeless man's face. That shit was so goofy,
Oh
man.
yeah, it was.
I'm like that shit. That scene had to have been played for laughs, because like while that scene is happening, you can hear a banjo playing in the background. It was
Yeah.
so weird and goofy. Like,
Yeah, that was a pretty wild movie. Like I
yeah,
watched it. I think I watched it either earlier this year or late last year, somewhere around there. It's
yeah.
been a while, but I still love what's his name? Abel Abel Farrington Fair
You
Abel
mean
Ferreira, that's it.
you mean
Uh
Sunder? What's her name's character?
no, the other Body Snatchers movie from
Oh,
the
from the '90s.
90s.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
That's my personal favorite out of the Body Snatchers movies. I
Really?
really enjoyed that movie.
Fair enough. But I don't know, man. That the ending of the one from the '70s is very effective.
Oh, for sure.
Like Veronica Cartwright could not catch a break in the late '70s.
No, no, she was. I always forget to kind of put her on the list of like actors and actresses that have been like iced in a lot of their movies.
Yeah,
You know, and like, yeah, Veronica Cartwright got like iced in a lot of her movies, like
yeah,
especially during that period.
for sure. You know she was in The Birds, the
No, I didn't know
Hitchcock. Yeah,
that.
she was a little kid though.
Oh, I had
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah.
Wow.
I haven't even seen The Birds. That's one I gotta get to. I haven't seen a lot of Hitchcock's films apart from Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho, I think, is the only Hitchcock movie I've actually seen, and I've seen Psycho maybe two or three times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not for the lack of not wanting to watch it again. It's just
Yeah.
access. You know, like
Like I've heard good things about Vertigo and Rear Window.
same here. Yeah, which there's been so many loosely based movies or adaptations of the Rear Window, especially in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like one that was pretty prominent was Disturbia, which, you know, like me and my mom really loved Disturbia, and my cousin Ace from We Massacre, like that was like one that we watched a lot in the mid
I'm
2000s.
about to say,
But
yeah, that movie came out in the early 2000s. I heard about it.
yeah, it's a good
Disturbia.
movie. It's a really good movie. It's got
Yeah.
David Morse and Carrie Ann Moss in it too.
Yeah, I remember the poster. It looked like someone had binoculars on.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely one of the most like influential directors.
Yeah, for sure. Because Brian De Palma loved Hitchcock.
Yeah.
You know, like he always talked about how, and it's so strange to me because like I remember we were talking about this before because I know De Palma comes up a lot on our show, you
Yeah.
know, and like it's so weird that John Carpenter can't stand Brian De Palma when they're both like heavily influenced by Hitchcock.
Really?
Yeah,
The-
like
I know Carpenter doesn't like Spielberg.
oh yeah. Well,
I think he looks at him as like kind of pretentious.
yeah, he said the same thing about Spielberg, and I think he looks at De Palma as kind of pretentious too.
Yeah. Like I heard him. It's funny. Him and Cronenberg, I heard used to be pretty close.
Yeah.
But then like he pretty much distanced himself because I guess he went down that pretentious road too.
Oh yeah, of course
Like
he did.
yeah, because to him he feels like because Cronenberg makes arts.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty pretentious. Like, but you find it in a lot of filmmakers too. Like, I mean, even James Cameron to a degree is a little bit on the pretentious side.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, I've seen worse than him as far as pretentiousness goes, but James Cameron could be pretty pretentious too. Like, I remember there was like some quote from him saying, "I don't make movies, I make films," and I'm like, okay, dude. You know, like I mean, I understand taking your art seriously. I get that,
Yeah.
but you try to like ride that line where you're not coming off as like a pretentious asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like anybody's ever thought that like James Cameron did bad films unless you're me and you that can't stand Avatar. Like
Speaking of James Cameron, So recently I read Jurassic Park, the
Mm,
book, for the first time, and I'm here to say I liked it better than the movie.
no shit, really?
Yeah, I always found the movie kind of overrated. I
Wow.
I think I'm just not a big fan of dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean, I love the first film, but like I'm not gonna take any like umbrage with you thinking it's overrated because I think it's pretty valid. Like even somebody that was a big fan of the first
Yeah,
movie,
it's
you know?
good, but I don't know. It's not a masterpiece to me.
Yeah.
Like I I feel like one thing they failed to show was like really the horror of the situation. Like I feel like Spielberg really wanted to focus on the wonder first.
Yeah.
Like when they first see the Brachiosaurus and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That scene is great, but like I feel like he should have like equally balanced it out more with the horror.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's why I think after reading the book, I think Cameron would have been a better director.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I
for
think he
sure.
would have shown both sides like equally well, like with the wonder and stuff. Like
Yeah.
from the remember in the abyss, he
Oh
really showed
yeah.
off all the alien
There
stuff.
was
There
a
was like a
big wonder element in the abyss for
yes,
sure. Like
and I think he would have brought that equally in. And there was a good horror with aliens,
yeah. Well,
so
even
he
to a
would have
degree
bexed it
with
out.
first two Terminator movies. So, well,
Yes, yeah, the first one specifically.
yeah, I was gonna say with the first one. I mean, even the T2, there wasn't too much of the wonder element, but there was a lot of the horror element in the second one, especially with Sarah Connor's nightmare about the nuclear holocaust and shit
Yeah.
like that. That was pretty horrifying, you
Yep.
know.
But yeah, in the book is pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I heard because I've heard a couple of people talk about that the book is far more violent than the movie is.
yeah, like what Wayne Knight's character, his death is like brutal in the book. Like it happens similarly to in the movie, but like after the Dilophosaurus,
Yeah,
it spits the stuff into his eye.
yeah.
It freaking comes up and disembowels him
Whew,
in the
shit.
book. Yeah.
That's probably what it did off screen, but it
No, but well, in the movie, they ended up going into the Jeep,
yeah,
and then he
okay.
bites it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, he dies outside of the Jeep. And another thing, the lawyer, he doesn't die in the book.
Oh,
Like,
he doesn't?
yeah, he's a more of a better character in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and what else? Oh yeah, Hammond dies in the book.
Oh, does he? I heard
Yeah,
Alan Grant got killed in the
no,
book
he
too.
doesn't die in
Oh,
the
he
book.
doesn't die in the
No,
book? Okay.
but yeah, but Hammond in the book is kind of a dick more.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because he was like the only thing he was worried about was at the park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole time Malcolm is tells him from the start, this ain't gonna work. This isn't gonna
Yeah,
work.
that's true cuz even in the movie he was skeptical, wasn't he, about
Yeah,
the
well
park?
yeah, that was the whole thing why they brought out Grant and Malcolm in for the first to vet the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny he dies by the little ones, the compies.
Yeah.
Remember from the second. Okay, so a bunch of the scenes that were in the book they cut out of the movie, but they put in like the sequels.
Oh, okay.
Like in the book, there was this bit where they go to like this big like aviary, and that's where the pterodactyls hang out.
Yeah.
That was cut from the movie, but they put that scene in number three.
Oh,
You remember
okay.
that? You remember that
Yeah,
part?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and and also at the beginning of the book, there's a part where the little dinosaurs, the compies, they attack a little girl,
Yeah.
and they included that scene in the start of the second movie, in the Lost World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting though. I had no idea. I,
yeah, but for sure, I thought the book was definitely better. There's parts that kind of dragged because there would be a lot of these scenes where Malcolm would kind of like give his thoughts on things a lot, It kind of slowed down the book, but still, it was a pretty good book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna read The Lost World next.
It's kind of funny because uh when Wayland was over last week, because talking about like adaptations, like the difference between like whether it's the book or the comic book versus the movie or TV series or whatever, and we were watching The Punisher, and Wayland was like, the movies are better though, right? And I go, well, it depends, kiddo. I was like,
Hmm.
I said, because I broke it down to him, like I was like, for example, like with all the Punisher adaptations that have gone on over the years, I said that like, I was very familiar with the comics before, they started, making well, at least the previous two movies in the TV series. And I was like, there's a lot of things about, all of those iterations after the Dolph Lundgren movie, that I don't understand why they didn't just stick with the story that they had, and adapting it, because it would have been great, but they over convolute it and they have to add things in there that didn't happen,
Yeah, it's like they always try to like put their own mark on that character.
Yeah, that's
And you saw the Punisher special that came out
yeah, I
recently.
did. I did.
I liked most of it.
I did too. I thought it was a great action special.
Yeah.
Um, but that special proved to me beyond a shadow of a doubt, as much as I love John Bernthal, he is not the Punisher.
Yeah, and it feels like we're not really getting anywhere. It feels like we keep on going through the same thing with him.
Yeah, with the trauma and him
Yeah.
like dealing with the trauma, and it's like, dude,
Like I
stop
feel he
this.
still hasn't fully became the Punisher except for like a few moments, you know.
There's rumors though, because I found this YouTube channel, where it's this guy that worked on the set
Hmm.
of like the Punisher TV series and the latest special or whatever, and he was kind of being neutral about it. He was saying like, look, I get it, I understand, like I'm a massive fan of the Frank Castle character too, I understand some of the criticism. He was like, but he had said like, we have to, have him go through some of these transitions for us to get to the Frank Castle that you guys all want. It's
Dude,
like,
then what were the
but
point of
yeah,
the fucking first two seasons of
well,
the
yeah, and
show?
I'm
Like,
like, well, when are we gonna get to that? Like, because even with the first season, he was still very unpunisher like,
yeah, like I
like
feel like we truly haven't seen him just going out doing the Punisher thing,
just going
taking
on
out.
missions, being focused, and being like cold and calculating,
Like we
like
got some of that in the special with like the flashbacks when he's taking out the Nucci family,
yeah, yeah.
but we haven't gotten to anything where he's full on Punisher.
I think it's just they're focusing on too much of the trauma and the emotional aspect of the character, and people don't understand about that character. That's the reason why, because they always say like hindsight is 2020. Granted, I got my criticisms about the Thomas Jane Punisher movie and even some with the Ray Stevenson one, but the one thing that even the Dolph Lundgren movie, the one thing that all three of those movies got right was Frank Castle's stoicness and focus.
Yeah,
Like, and the John Bernthal one
he
doesn't
cries too
seem,
much.
yeah,
He
he
cries too
does.
much. It's like
Like I get it. The guy's war torn. He's been through hell. He misses his family, but that's not what Frank Castle is. Essentially,
yeah,
if
he's
you
like
if you know
that's
that
his driving force, but it's like he still hasn't really
accepted
became the
it,
yeah,
yeah.
he hasn't like you haven't really seen him put on the skull and thing too much
Well, yeah,
during his time as the Punisher.
yeah,
Like we saw it once or a few times in the Daredevil show,
yeah.
and but I remember even in his show we didn't even see him wear it too much.
No, because one the other thing is too, like with the second season of Daredevil, that's really the only one where you come closest to seeing John Bernthal being a little bit more Punisher like,
Yeah,
like, and even then though, there was like a lot of, like the problem is with John Bernthal is it's like he needs like when, for example, when him and Daredevil were having that argument on the roof about how you should deal with crime.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, I think that, like, if you're dealing with a stoic character like Frank Castle, you have to keep that coldness and like straightforwardness in there without him losing his temper.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he could have communicated and said all those things that he said in that scene, but far calmer and far more calculated, because Frank Castle doesn't lose his temper very often. Like,
Yeah. They literally had another moment in the special where he's like, no, 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 no.
I
It's
know,
like,
I
bruh.
know. Stop with that shit, dude. Like, and it's like, why? This is the reason why people make fun of it, because, like,
Oh yeah.
it's just, like, I was talking to one of my best friends the other night about it, and like, it was just like, we were talking about how, essentially, like, Frank Castle is like a Terminator, but a human version of the Terminator in a lot of ways. Like, he's stoic. He's not very emotional at all. He's very exacting. He, like, he's focused on the mission, like, and you don't, like, even in the comics, if you read the comics, he doesn't, like, yes, he has lost his temper from time to, but it's rare.
Yeah.
He usually just is calm and collected, even in the most intense moments.
Yeah. I mean, like, he can be very brutal, but like, I remember from what I know from the comics, like he really like freaking tortures people to the point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
I mean,
closest that the only time that I feel like Bernthal's Punisher ever did it was what's his name, Ben Barr, Jigsaw.
Yeah, Jigsaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Russo. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and that was the thing. Like, like, when you watch that first season, and like, that's the thing that pisses me off so bad. Like, because Ben Barnes. Of course, I wasn't a big fan of them kind of changing Jigsaw's origins a little bit, because he never served in the military with Frank Castle. That never ever happened. They were basically, Jigsaw was somebody that was hired by the remaining, like, survivors of the Acosta family that actually killed Frank Castle's family.
So was
To
the Nucci's?
no,
That
no,
was the retcon.
yeah, 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 and like, they were hired by the Acosta family, which, it's like, why don't you put the Acosta, like, at least in Punisher Warzone, it mentions the Acosta family, like, when, like, Warzone was the one that stayed, probably out of all of the live action iterations, that stayed the closest to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand there's a lot of people didn't like the over the top aspect of it and stuff like that. And it's like I said, I've got my criticisms of it too, but Ray Stevenson portrayed Frank Castle perfectly. And he also looked the part,
Yeah.
you know?
It's just unfortunate. I think people have just kind of accepted this version of the Punisher, and it's not really going to change.
Yeah, because
It's not gonna-
you see a lot of people, like,
He's played
yeah,
the character for 10 years now.
yeah, and you see it, yeah, which is the longest running Punisher we've ever had,
Yeah.
like, and I mean, you see a lot of people just jump on the defensive, like, immediately when you have any kind of criticism, and it's like, and you see these people, that are like, that don't really understand the character, that are just fans of the show and the movies and stuff like that. And that's their really only reference point that they have of the character.
Yeah.
And they don't understand, like, the criticisms of people that have read the comics, that know that character, and they don't understand, like, even, like, politically, they're like, oh, he would be, right wing, or he'd be left wing. No, the guy hates scumbags in general. He
Yeah.
doesn't play sides. He doesn't care if you're a Democrat. He doesn't care if you're a Republican. If you are doing scumbaggery things, he doesn't care if you're a cop, doesn't care if you're FBI, CIA. He's an equal opportunist, and that's the reason why Warzone captures that element of the character the best.
Yeah.
you know.
They need to remaster that game from the mid
Oh, it's
2000s
such a great game.
because
Like,
not everybody's into comics. So if you really want people to understand that character,
yeah,
remaster that game. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, because the game, in a lot of ways, like they did take some of the continuity from the 2004 version,
Hmm.
but they mostly used the source material from the comics in the game,
Yep.
like, and they basically what they did with Howard Saint's character, which it was a little of a head scratcher, but it was okay because at least they got the character right, but they kind of merged Howard Saint's character into Jigsaw on the game, and his name was John Saint. And I'm like, why did you do that? I don't under like that's
Yeah.
like probably like my only complaint about the game is that. But like other than that though, like the game was amazing. The game absolutely was far more faithful to the comics than even the 2004 version of the movie,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
And
One.
and I know Thomas Jane says that like he doesn't feel like he was right for the role, and it's like no, it had nothing to do with you, dude. It was the writing behind the scenes that had a lot to do with it. Like because I know that Thomas Jane had become very, very, loyal to the character and stuff like that, and he even said that like he wanted to add a lot more elements of the comic into the movies, and that was another big problem that he had when he was like even after the first movie, he
Mhm.
wanted to get away from, some of the like problems with the first movie, and it's a shame, like it's such an easy character to get, and like I don't understand why everyone in Hollywood feels like they have to convolute it and
Yeah.
change things that don't really need to be changed.
Well, hopefully one of these days we'll get back to that comic book accurate
Yeah,
Punisher. Like, dude? Bernthal's almost 50.
yeah, yeah. I
He's
think
getting,
he's like 49 or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. They might reboot it again soon, and shit, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to again, I was talking to one of my best friends about it, and we were both talking about how if John Bernthal inevitably like stepped away from the character, and my two choices have always been if John Bernthal steps away, either Carl Urban or Frank Grillo.
They're up there too in age. They're both in their 50s
Yeah,
also.
but you got to think if you look at the Marvel Max Punishers, he's in his 50s, in his 60s when he's doing this. So it doesn't really matter, like like the age thing. I don't really think is the issue. I think it's more like I mean, now obviously, if he was like in his 70s, or if he was like
Yeah.
in his late 60s, I would get that. But like, you know, um, you look at the Dread movie that Carl Urban did. That's Punisher. Like all day, like that stoicism,
Yeah.
that straightforwardness, that focus on the mission. He got the Punisher better without even playing him in a movie based off of another comic book character better than John Bernthal did.
Yeah.
But to be fair to John Bernthal, he's never come right out and said it, but he said that he's had his frustrations with the TV series and everything that he's done Punisher related. And
Mhm.
I think, I think he's trying to find that way to toe the line, but also try to let people know, like, look, a lot of those things that you guys are probably unhappy about, I guarantee you I am too. I just can't come right out and say it,
Yeah.
because like he was like, I remember a couple of years ago before we got the special and before he showed up again on Born Again,
Hmm.
on Daredevil, he was saying that like he said that he doesn't want to come back and do the character until we do it right, and
We still haven't done it right.
yeah, yeah, I know, and
Yeah, I can't really trust him on what that because like he co-wrote the special,
yeah, I know, and it's like, man, you're just
and it was just the same thing. Once again, probably Frank is having trouble if he really wants to keep being the Punisher and stuff. You know?
so aggravating. And that's another thing that they get wrong. There is no end game for Frank Castle. Like, he doesn't, there has not been, I think you might have had maybe a couple of times in the comics. It's been very rare where he considered walking away. 9 times out of 10, no, he's committed. That's what he's going to do until he dies.
Yeah.
That's, like, that was the only thing that annoyed me about Warzone. It's like, why do they always have to put that shit in there?
Yeah.
Where he's ready to hang it up. Okay, I got what I wanted out of it. I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
That's not what the character is.
The best way to play for me with the special, I liked 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it should have been longer and just been like the whole thing, him messing people up.
Yeah.
As the Punisher.
Oh, I agree.
And just give us that and we'll be happy. Like,
yeah.
Stop. We've been through this game of him like having his mental battles.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I could have understand that for a first season.
Yeah.
I would have even accepted it, like, which I did, because I thought, logically speaking, I thought before the second season came out, like, okay, well, the second season we're going to see more of the Frank Castle we want to see, and it wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was him still trying to get away from being the Punisher again and try to live a normal life, and he's thrust back into this situation where he has to be the Punisher again. It's like, stop putting that shit in there. It's not accurate to the source material at all. It's not even faithful to the source material, because that just doesn't happen very often. Like,
yeah, it's just redundant.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and like I said, I mean, I enjoyed the special. I love John Bernthal. I mean, as a matter of fact, like, I remember 2 years or maybe a year or two before season 2 of Daredevil came out, John Bernthal was one of my choices for the Punisher. I was like, he'd be great.
Yeah.
It's just, but I didn't know that John Bernthal was essentially going to play it as Shane. I mean, like, I thought, like, he would have read the comics and stuff like that, like all the other actors did, and he would have kind of dropped that whole shtick, that tough guy shtick that he's becoming the new De Niro in that regard.
It just feels like I said, man, it feels like a lot of, whenever people do adaptations these days, it feels like everybody just has to try to put their own mark on it instead of just following what the comics or whatever it adapted it from.
If you would have had Frank Darabont do a Punisher movie, he probably would have nailed that character probably better, because, I mean, you've seen how he is with Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
And he doesn't change very much, and if he does, it's very little.
Yeah.
Like,
it's better in a movie sense.
Yeah. I think Zack Snyder probably even would have done a better job, because you look at Watchmen.
Oh, yeah, he takes a lot of, like, panels straight from the comic and puts it
that's
in the movie.
That's what I'm saying. I know there's going to be a lot of people that there's a lot of people that love Zack Snyder and a lot of people that don't. But, like, I know the people that don't would be like, no, I don't want Zack Snyder to do a Punisher movie. But, like, well, just saying, in terms of somebody that would be very accurate and faithful to the source material, him and Frank Darabont are the only two guys that I could see that would be great, would treat that character the way it should be portrayed, from the source material.
Yeah. Well, speaking of comics and Punisher, Garth Ennis, the boys just finished.
Yes. This is the conversation I've been waiting for.
Oh, man.
It's
sad, man. It was one of my favorite shows, man.
I started watching it 4 years ago, and, like, because I would always see clips of it pop up on my YouTube feed, and I was like, dude, this is great. And I went and I bought both seasons on Blu-ray. I ordered it off Amazon, and I was watching it, like, religiously. I loved those first two seasons and the third season too.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, I haven't been, like, this excited about a TV series in a while, at that point. Probably since, like, the first two seasons of Daredevil and the first season of Punisher, like, I was really, really stoked. And what a nosedive it's taken.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the same spot as you. I started watching it while season 2 was airing. I freaking binged the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
me too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very interesting like concept, like the idea, them treating these superheroes like celebrities and stuff.
Yes.
Like the show was at its best was when okay, one thing that the show got that was better than the comic was making all of them normal people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in the comics they all have V.
Yes.
They're enhanced.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the show everybody's normal except for Kimiko.
Yeah. Which, which, by the way, yeah, which is the female in
Yeah,
the comics,
comics,
like,
yeah.
which is funny because I'm such a big Garth Ennis fan, and that's the only thing that I haven't read. Which I got to give you in exchange. Um, I've got all those Punisher compendiums, and I'm telling you, if you love the boys, you're gonna love his run for the Punisher.
Hmm.
Because like I'm gonna finish First Blood, and I really want to read the boys comics because I've read like the other Garth Ennis related stuff that I've read. We'll get back to the show in just a second. I just had to point this out. Like, was his run on Ghost Rider and his run on Thor,
Hmm.
and I just love what Garth Ennis does. And I know some people bitch because sometimes he can be too edgy, which is true to a degree, but I still love like his style of writing,
Yeah, he
and
goes really dark, as you
yeah,
see.
yeah, and like and now back to like with the boys, like the other reason why I love the boys so much is because it reminded me of like a more of a comedic version of the Watchmen.
Yeah,
Like that was another reason why I enjoyed it so much.
yeah.
Like because it did kind of touch on that similar question, who like when
What
they
would superheroes be like if they were real?
yes,
Like
who watches the Watchmen, like
yeah.
in
And another thing, every time whenever they would like beat a soup, it would feel like a big win. Like
yeah.
because like I said, they're just normal people going against these almost essentially gods.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That was the thing that hooked me at the start.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love that, and it was just it was so well written. I know I hear some people say that like there's some people that stopped watching at the third season because they started kind of digging more into the satire aspect, but I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't enough to make me like say I can't stand this, and it's like I know other big podcasters say that's like, what was that one thing that Nerdrotic said? He was like, they come at us with nukes and then they come at the other people with like the water pistols. And I was like, I thought they made pretty good fun of both sides on those first like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
but after like season 4, nah.
no, they delved
It felt
way.
like it became just another, wokish
Yes,
show.
it was like, and
It started with Frenchie,
oh
like how they did Frenchie, man.
God,
It was pointless in the end. Like I feel like that's season 4. They had nothing. They couldn't think of anything to do with Frenchie.
no, they couldn't. I mean, and then the other thing was too. I would see some people in the comment section, that were defending the creative choices of Frenchie in the fourth season. Like, yeah, but Frenchie always implied, even in the comics, that he was like
It's
sexually
one.
attracted to both sides and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but even in the like, but if you're going like, okay, let's say if you're just going by the TV series standard, obviously he's a little past that at the point when he gets with Kamiko. So it
Yeah,
didn't
it
make
did.
any fucking sense from a character standpoint for him to go and start dating a dude.
It felt like I felt like they were just checking off a box.
They totally were.
Yeah.
Like 100%, that's exactly what they were doing.
And
And
another big problem, like the show started just shock factor.
oh yeah, they
Instead of
doubled
good
down on
writing,
that way too
yeah,
much.
it was like shock factor,
They
man.
were so much more subtle with it on the first 2 or 3 seasons. But even to a degree, as much as I enjoyed the third season, they really started kind of
Yeah,
kicking it up a notch with the shock factor.
yeah.
Some of it worked and some of it didn't.
Like it was, and also like it's so juvenile too. Like some of the dialogue,
Oh, I know.
It's
I
like
know.
I remember, dude, when they gave what's her name, Kamiko, the ability to speak, it
It's the
was like,
biggest mistake they ever
yes,
made.
like why does like 90% of these characters talk like a teenager that just discovered swearing? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it was just like, even when I'd read what Eric Kripke's like creative direction for that with Kamiko, when he had said that, well, like what was it? He said, he was like, well, Kamiko just learned how to speak through TikTok. And I'm like, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, that sounds so lazy.
yeah,
Like, so that's your justification. I know we live in a stupid world right now, but like, I don't know. I just thought
yeah,
that was ridiculous, dude. Like, and I just feel like he was just trying to justify bad creative as much as he possibly could, because,
yeah.
and it's
And he's
like,
one of those guys that clearly cannot take criticism
no, he can't.
because he just immediately took up the defense of, oh, if you don't, just watch something else.
Yeah, because I mean, look, I'm just gonna be honest. He kind of acts like a little bitch when somebody criticizes him for
Yeah,
making a bad. It's like, dude, we're the ones that, yeah, look, I understand that, like, you have to find that line between being an artist, but also pleasing people. I get that to a degree, but people are going to respect you more if you stick to your guns and you do what you've always done from the beginning versus doubling down on this. Oh, we wanted to go further on the political satire aspect. The
yeah,
political satire worked really well those first 2 or 3 seasons,
hmm
and then it's when they started taking more of a woke direction with it, and it's like, you know that's when you started seeing it kind of like slowly disintegrate, and I think a lot of the reasons why people love the third season so much, well, I think it's pretty obvious at this point.
Soldier
Soldier
Boy,
Boy,
yeah,
because Soldier Boy was kind of like balancing out like the annoying, like, wokish characters
yeah,
on the show.
because he was a boomer
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah,
man out of time. But dude, even back in season three, they did that guy dirty. Like the ending of season three, bro.
yeah.
Like that was probably one of the worst episodes of the show.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was a very stupid decision.
Like
Like,
him, like yeah, Butcher turning on him.
yeah,
It was like I get it to save the kid. Like even Ryan's like joining Homelander's side was like that shit was felt so forced. Like it
it
didn't feel
did.
natural at all.
No, no. I mean, yeah. I don't think that. I think that was. I will agree. The third season, as good as it was starting to show signs of the beginning of the end, with
Yeah.
like the good creative choices and the good creative writing and character development.
Like
You know,
remember in the Hero Gasm episode, like it we could have ended it all the way back then.
yeah.
But you can tell like they extended this show out like it was not natural. Like
You would have.
they could have done it naturally, but like the writers were so shit. Nah.
No, no, and it's like, and then you get attacked for having, a differing opinion, and it's like, and you're just kind of like, well, dude, I was a big fan of those first 3 seasons too, but I can be objective and be able to see what didn't work either,
Yeah.
like, and like people just lose their fucking minds over that.
Yep.
Like, because they're mad because they might have enjoyed it, and I understand, like, I understand to a degree, like when you enjoy something and then somebody's got to come in and kind of like shit on the parade a little bit, it's like,
Yeah.
like, for example, I even started seeing it with like Mortal Kombat 2, like, and I would see some of these people saying that, like, oh, well, it's basically just a boss girl movie, and it's like, not really, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like I feel like at this point people are being kind of like hyper vigilant about like the woke bad creative. Like,
Yeah.
it's like Mortal Kombat always had strong female characters in the games and
I feel like
the
the movie
movies.
was like it was like yeah. I feel like it was like both what's his name? Johnny Cage's and Katana's
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
And they balanced it very well,
Yeah.
like, and it was like, it was way better. It was everything that the first one wasn't,
Yeah.
and like, and it's just like when I see people saying that, I was like, okay, I feel like you guys are reaching a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Cause like, I'm pretty good, and I know you are too, at picking that out.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that in Mortal Kombat 2 at all.
Yeah.
Like, and if they did, then they must have done it in a super subtle way,
Yep.
like.
But well, back to the boys, man. Season 5, man. I did. It might be worse than season 4. Like for me.
Yeah, because now in hindsight, I probably could agree with that. Although that there was like 3 really good episodes in that last season,
I mean,
but
I
like,
don't think that anything was really good. To me, I don't think nothing was above at least a 6 out of
yeah, well,
10.
that's fair too. I mean, when I say really good, I mean like if we're going on scales, I'd say maybe like maybe about a 6.5 or a 7.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I don't
certainly
know.
not going to get an 8 or a 10. I can
Yeah,
promise you that.
like all episodes had something that irritated me.
Yeah,
Like
there was
mainly
some
the
episodes.
dialogue. Mainly the dialogue. I can't stand the fucking
I was
dialogue in
gonna
this
say,
show.
because there was a couple of times like the episodes that really kind of sucked. I found myself drifting, looking at my phone,
Oh yeah,
not paying attention to it as much because I'm like, all right, this is all kinds of shit that I don't care about.
I think
Like,
like the worst episode of the season was the second to last episode.
oh yeah, yeah,
Like
dumb.
that part with the what those two soups that are like kind of like one is like a dog and one's like a cat and they're like sniffing each other and stuff. I was
Yes.
like, dude, this is the fucking second to last episode of the show and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And they try to justify it. Like,
Yeah.
and like, and they're being so overtly edgy to a point to where it was like
No,
the
it's just
first the
dumb.
yeah, it was. And it was
Like,
like the first 3 seasons were really good at being able to balance the edginess to the point to where you're like, okay, now this is starting to become cringe,
yeah.
like, and like with these last 2 seasons, this is like the 4th season. The best thing about the 4th season was really Homelander's arc.
Oh yeah, he carried the show.
Yeah,
The whole show.
apparently there's things that were being said that a lot of people that were criticizing or bitching about the last season, Anthony Starr was liking the comments on Instagram. Like, he wasn't responding,
Oh
but it
yeah.
was his way of saying I agree. And apparently Carl Urban was too. Like,
I kind
we
of feel
can't say it, but we agree with you.
like yeah, Kripke made Homelander a Trump caricature.
So ridiculous.
And like even Anthony Starr was like, no, I want that feels like even back when season 4 dropped, he said him being a caricature of Trump feels like low hanging fruit, but
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
like you can see what Kripke was doing. And
yeah, and I mean,
he was just trying. I think he said in a recent interview, Anthony Starr, like he was just trying to portray a character with his own identity and stuff.
oh, absolutely,
But
absolutely.
too bad, the showrunner just, wanted to
He,
bring down Trump,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing.
I mean, granted, look, I mean, I understand the criticism that people have towards Trump, but at the same time, don't
It's like-
fucking turn the show into that, dude.
Yes.
Like,
Remember the last episode? They pretty much bring in like a guy that was pretty much supposed to be Elon Musk.
yeah,
It's like, dude, Kripke, you are not funny. Like
No, not at all. Like,
that was so cringy, man.
yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, because remember they said like Firecracker was essentially Marjorie Taylor Greene, or
Yeah.
was inspired by Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, dude. Like, you're getting so far away from what the series originally represents. And I know that I know Kripke would probably try to argue or counter argue. He's like, well, that's what the show was always about. You're full of shit, dude. No, it's not. No, it
Yeah.
was not. Like, yes, we always knew that there was left leanings on the show, but it wasn't so obnoxious to the point to where the audience felt alienated. You
Yeah.
know, like, and and it was still a great show because you could tell that he cared more about developing a good story over what his politics were. I would be saying the exact same thing about a show that was right leaning.
Yeah.
If it would started to convolute the story and make the story suck because you're doubling more down on a message, yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna give the same amount of criticism.
Yeah.
Like it's just, even like I noticed that a little bit when I was watching the second season of the Terminal List, Dark Wolf.
Mhm.
It was kind of doing that a little bit, but from a right leaning standpoint. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's not enough to make me want to, like, shut the show off.
Mhm.
But like, it was like, okay, I see what you guys are doing.
But
And like it's very subtle. It's very subtle, though. At least I felt like it
yeah,
was.
but either way, it's
Yeah,
either way.
exactly.
But
It doesn't matter. Like,
another thing with the last episode, they tried to do what's his name, Butcher's turn in the last 20 minutes. Like,
oh, I know. I know that was dude, everything was so rushed in that
Yeah.
last episode.
that's why I thought for sure what's his name, Homelander would have died like a few episodes before the finale.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't understand. Okay, well, if this is your last episode, if it's your season finale, right? Why don't you add another extra 15, 20 minutes to the show
Yeah.
to be able to work out those loose ends a little bit more? You could have done that.
Dude, another thing was that that V1 storyline was pointless in the end.
Yeah.
Pointless.
Oh, I know.
And then, because like the second last episode, they pull out of their ass, they give her the ability that Soldier Boy had.
Yeah.
And it was just so dumb.
I was so confused by that. Because I was like, wait a minute. So this whole time we're thinking that Homelander is immortal
Yeah.
from the last episode. And
Yep.
then all of a sudden, he, like, Kamiko comes in, takes away his powers.
Yeah.
Just like that. It didn't
So-
even feel like it was earned.
Yeah.
Like...
And the whole thing, they were teasing that whole scorched earth thing, the whole series. And
Yeah.
then nothing. Just a final battle in the Oval Office.
Yeah, and I mean, even and I was also aggravated because, like, I know there I had commented, I think it was I don't know if it was Critical Drinker or it was, I think it was Nerdrotic, and I was agreeing with basically what he had mostly said about his evaluation of the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just basically saying that, like, I just felt like Homelander deserved a little bit better, like, as far as an ending. And I was like, I didn't understand, like, when his
just
powers got taken
Like,
away.
would he really act like that way, you know?
Yeah, no, that's what I was getting to. So one of the people in the comments attacks me. He's like, "What are you talking about? Homelander was always a coward." And I'm like, and he had powers, so all he could do was, like, rely on those powers. I'm like, so you're telling me that, like, he didn't learn any basic fighting skills, even if, like, he becomes immortal again?
Not even like on the fighting skills type of thing. I mean, like him, like groveling.
Well, that too, but I'm just saying, like, him, just to see him cower completely like that, at least put up a little bit of a fight before he does that.
It goes back to Eric Crispy, making Homelander the
Trump.
Like,
Okay, that might be Trump, but I don't feel like that'd be Homelander.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, or at least I don't think he would be that quick to grovel.
Yeah.
And
it was just.
Yeah, but I got attacked for it because they were like, well, like, he was always a coward. I'm like, I'm not fucking debating that he was a coward and that he did cowardly things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad at least you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that, like, Homelander was, like, this heroic badass. I was just saying, to me, it didn't make any sense.
Just because, he's a character that you hate and stuff like that, doesn't you have to, like, make him a wuss at the
completely
end.
spineless. Yeah.
Right at the end. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what separates a good villain and
A bad villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, especially like, and I guarantee you, like, Anthony Starr was not happy. Like, was as much as Anthony Starr is invested in that character. Same with Carl Urban with Butcher.
He's definitely
Yeah.
Homelander is definitely one of the most memorable villains
Oh,
of this
dude.
of this
Easily.
decade.
Yeah. 100%. Like, and Anthony Starr portrayed him so well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like, and I think that's, and you know, but they did start doing the same thing with Butcher too.
Yeah.
I felt like Butcher started falling off towards the middle of the third season.
Yeah, like
you know, like you want that charisma from him, you know, and I know like,
felt like at the end of season 4, like it felt like he was back to the Butcher that
Yes.
we know. But then season 5 got rid of that.
yeah, which was stupid.
I feel like
But they would tease it in some parts,
Yeah.
and then it would vanish again.
Yeah.
You know?
and that's why I think they should have allowed for his turn in the last 15 minutes of the final episode. That should have been like 2 episodes.
No, I agree.
A whole 2-episode arc.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like, I think Butcher deserved better, too. You know, I think him and
Yeah.
Anthony Starr both deserved better. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it was kind of cheap because they just kind of cherry picked some of the elements of the comic and threw it in there at the ending.
Yeah, without none of the build up, the comics.
Yeah, or the right context of
Yeah.
it too, you know, and it was just so infuriating. And it's like Eric Kripke should also be happy that people love the show so much, regardless of whatever their fucking politics are, that are just passionate enough that they love the show that much that, like, yeah, sorry, dude, you dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to look at yourself and be like, okay, maybe I did. Instead
Yeah.
of being a bitch about it and whining about, well, then just don't watch the show.
Yeah.
You know, well, then don't make a show that you get us invested in and that we enjoy, and then drop the ball creatively and give us a bunch of fucking slop, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, dude. Like, you don't get to play that defensive card when you're the one that, you know, you and the, you know, it wasn't just Eric Kripke. It was other writers that were involved, too, that helped really make that show great in those first 2 or 3 seasons.
Yep.
You know, like,
Another thing was how they did Soldier Boy this season. Like, Soldier Boy felt like pointless in this season.
he did. There was a few really great Soldier Boy moments, but it became like what they did to Butcher in the 3rd season.
I don't know. I started getting annoyed by Soldier Boy this season.
Well,
It was the dialogue once again.
I
that just
understand.
Started annoying me.
I totally get that, but it was just like, but I noticed, like, my first thought when I was seeing that they brought Soldier Boy back, it was the same thing they did to Butcher in the 3rd season.
Yeah.
He was becoming very un-Soldier Boy-like.
Yeah, like, because he gives, what's his name, Homelander the V1 because it's what Clara would have wanted. Like, dude,
Yeah.
this is not the same Soldier Boy from
No.
season 3. Like, that dude was so crass and stuff like that. Like,
He certainly wasn't like the PC police. He didn't care about offending people.
not even on that. Like, I feel like he never really like loved anyone like that. Like, even back, he mentioned what's her name, Stormfront once in season 3. That
Oh
I think
yeah,
they said
but
that they
even
found,
in
they found it.
season
They found
Hero-
it. Herogasm
Herogasm.
together.
and he was
and
like,
then that was
"Man,
it.
she sure was a firecracker." Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like
Then they just undo that in season 5 just so, like, what's his name, Homelander gets the V1, and then even in that was fucking that there was
that
no point.
felt like it was so rushed and it had no place at all. Like it was almost like they looked at some of the little things that they had said in the last couple of seasons and they're like, let's change that a little bit. It's not like people will notice. Like, how stupid do you think we are? You think we didn't pay attention to these things?
Yeah.
You know,
And
like,
also a bunch of the season felt like them just trying to set up that Vault Rising show.
oh, it was, which a part of me wants to see it because I'm hoping that we'll get the Soldier Boy that we got from season 3
I'll give it maybe the first or second episode a chance, and then
Yeah.
I don't think I probably will watch it if it's
If
bad.
if it doesn't take off after the first or second episode, I'm not gonna finish it.
Yeah,
You know, like but knowing our luck, it might suck the first two episodes, but it gets better, after the first two. I mean, it's like,
maybe.
okay, well, if we start seeing a lot of people say that actually Vought Rising was really good, then we'll finish it. It's like,
Yeah, but yeah, another thing like Homelander like betraying him, like that's another thing that just made Soldier Boy look like a dumbass. Like,
yeah.
what was the point, man?
No, and it was like in the third season, like it made sense in a way why he kind of felt loyal to Butcher, because him and Butcher had some similarities, so they kind of connected on a personal level.
Yeah, and then like him like joining Homelander.
Yeah, I thought that was so dumb. I
Yeah,
felt like what they should have done is make it to where Soldier Boy just he tries the whole joining forces with Homelander and is just so disgusted by Homelander that he
yeah,
goes back to joining forces with Butcher or something along those lines. At least it would have it would have made for better television than what we got.
yeah,
Like at least we would have been like, okay, cool. Now Soldier Boy and Butcher are teaming up again, and that would have made like, and that was the thing that also didn't make any sense. Like the whole point of bringing Soldier Boy in for the third season was he was really the only guy that could probably kill Homelander.
yeah,
You should have like, or at least have something. Okay, I get it. You got to have Butcher be the one to kill Homelander.
yeah.
Why can't you just have the double team action like you did in the third season? You could have went back to that in the last season. Did something like
Yeah,
there's
but
so
no, they
many
wanted to extend. They wanted to extend out the show.
stupid,
That was it.
stupid, like so
And
stupid.
I'm not even mad at that, but like you could have done it so much better, as I
Oh,
said earlier.
I agree.
But the writers were just so shit
The-
after season one. Seems like season one only had like was the only season that had good writing.
yeah, second season still had good writing, but it was
That's when it started. You could see that.
it was slowly bleeding into the bad
Yeah,
creative, but
yeah, like just the shock humor.
and then the third season started bleeding into it a little bit like more.
Even like I think the Hero Gasm episode is the only one that really carries that season. That season three.
Yeah.
I think it's still Hero Gasm still is the best episode of the series.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, like that season had the highest some of the highest high, but like some of the lowest lows.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean just like a lot of the things that like Soldier Boy had said, like the dialogue was really hilarious. Like I always laughed about the part where
I'll slap you like I'm Connery.
yeah, that and one of my favorites was when he like Huey's worried about Butcher because what was the character that put him in that trance?
Yeah, Mindstorm. Or
Yeah,
something.
Mindstorm,
Yeah.
and he goes, and he says to him, he was like, you know what I do when I'm scared? Fucking nothing.
Yeah,
Because I'm not a fucking pussy, like,
Yeah.
and then the other thing that I thought was hilarious is when Huey was like, oh, well, then, we could save Butcher. He's like, yeah, Mindstorm, get him out. But he's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
It's just like the way, just the way, like there's so many aspects about his character in the third season that were so hilarious. There was a reason why people wanted him back so bad.
Yeah, but not the way we got him in
No,
season 5.
definitely not the way that we got him.
Yeah.
Like because yeah, he felt shame and humiliation and sadness and stuff like that. We saw that, but he wasn't like they had to like deconstruct him in the last season.
Yeah.
And like it's like, oh my god, here we go. It's the whole toxic masculinity fucking commentary, underlining commentary there. And it's like,
I
look,
wouldn't
see
even
guys,
call it a deconstruction. It just felt like they're just it wasn't the
throwing
same
anything
character.
at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah, it just felt like the writers just destroying a character just to further their own goals with the story.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, but I still think with them
Maybe that is
destroying the character, yeah,
deconstruction. I
that's
don't
what,
know.
yeah, I was gonna say because like that is kind of deconstructing the
Yeah,
character.
okay.
So I'm just for some, for some means that really didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It was like, well, thank you for sabotaging like one of the best characters on the show for some shitty conclusion that we got.
Yeah. But either way though, if I had to give like the series as a whole a rating, I give it a 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty generous. I might go a little bit further than you, maybe a 6.5,
Yeah.
because those first 2 seasons were so solid,
Yeah.
like, and, because, like, I enjoyed the second season, too, because, like, I was just watching, like, I think the beginning of the second season always starts off with one of the funniest things ever. It's the reenactment of what happened to Stillwell, and you have this
Yeah.
other guy playing Butcher, and he's like, "Oi!"
It's all over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, the way and I was laughing my ass off about that. Like, and they always did a really good job of that. Like, because that same season is when like the Deep had his Lifetime equivalent movie made,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Billy Zane played the guy, and he was like, "Deep, you have become too toxic," and he's chugging that fucking what was the drink that they were drinking, Fresca.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like, that was like when the humor was really balanced and still really funny in
Yeah.
a lot of ways, where it wasn't all shock. It was also just really quirky, like humor and over the topness in all the right places.
Well, hey, one thing I'll admit, one thing that actually did make me laugh in season 5 was the bit with the dude with his he had like nunchuck freak. His balls were nunchucks essentially.
Yeah.
And whenever Butcher turns to MM, he's like, "Hey, this is your guy right here." That got a laugh out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple of moments that I did laugh out loud, like, because like the one thing that I really liked about the first episode is it went back to a lot of the like kind of like the funny aspects of the second season, where it was kind of like making fun of like some of the stupid ads,
Yeah.
like RoboCop style, like where it was these over the top ads for, like God, I can't remember what it was in the first season, but well, that's bad. I mean, I guess it wasn't that good. If I don't, but I do remember I had a few moments in the first season where I laughed my ass
Yeah.
off.
And one more positive I got to say was A Train. Like
Yeah.
his arc throughout the series, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was pretty satisfied with
they,
that. by
they
the end.
seem to at least get one thing right out of everything else, and everything else outside of that was like, you get a lackluster ending confrontation with Homelander, and then you get a lackluster ending of Butcher.
Yep.
And it was just like, I mean, yeah, I did feel a little before Butcher died, but I was like, this could have been so much greater than it was.
Yeah.
Like
That's something you could say about the whole series.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean,
But either way, we've been going on for a while.
dude, hats off to like Carl Urban and Anthony Starr with being able to.
Yeah, at least the season got a lot of viewership apparently.
Yeah.
So
And even Jensen Ackles, to a degree, like they were basically handed chicken shit, and they were trying to turn it into chicken salad, and they tried the best they could.
yeah. Yeah, but hey. Well, it's good that me and Mick did this episode alone because Rafe still hasn't seen the series, but it's to this point this is a show I couldn't really want to recommend it to someone. It'd be very hard to. Like, you have a decent first few seasons, but after that,
It's like, to me, I kind of feel like I would recommend it, but I would be very specific about
Yeah.
what I'm recommending. Like I would probably say, watch the first 3 seasons. Don't watch the 4th or 5th season. Even if you're like, because I promise you, because I know some people are going to be like, yeah, but I want to know how it concludes. I promise you, you're not going to be happy with how it concludes.
Yeah.
Just, if you can live with having a little bit of an open to interpretation, like,
Or just watch the clips.
yeah, or
from later
watch
on.
the clips. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Either
way, it
way.
kind of goes in the way that you're expecting it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, we've been going on for a while now. I think we'll pick up next week with Raph.
Yes, we had a good back and forth on this one.
Yep. Yes, sir. Well, guys, see you next episode.
Later.
Bye.